New year, new me. Nah. New year, but the same J, but modified. Now, if you guys follow, as we most follow, the Georgian calendar, which is created by the Pope George the 13th, this is your new year, as that calendar was copied or modified from the Julian calendar, which is after Julius Caesar, the Roman emperor, the conqueror, the colonizer. Then this is indeed your new year. But if you follow that ancient Kemetic, that ancient African dating system, which is the first dating system, then our new year started September the 11th, and we are in the year 6,265. But since we all in the West, we'll go off of this. Now, what does this new year mean for Black Americans? I know we all like to set our New Year's resolutions, and we do good for the first few weeks, but a majority of us, we set these New Year resolutions and then we fall off, myself included. But the way I like to do things is, I don't set these new resolutions on these calendar years of Western society. I like to set whatever goals there are, whatever things I want to change about myself. When I discover that this is a certain thing that may be holding me back, or maybe causing me problems, or may not be productive, then I want to change that right then and there. I don't want to wait to this new calendar year that they say it is, and then say, okay, now I've got all these, I'm gonna do all these things this year. I'm gonna put all these resolutions down, and then I'm going to do it now, starting this year, starting fresh. No, whatever I feel like is an impediment to me, I say, okay, let me do this now. I guess, for example, like, I felt like, okay, if I want to cut back on alcoholic drinking, right? I say, okay, let me start now. Let me not wait to the new year. So what can I do? Okay, let's take it step by step. All right, I'm drinking, let's say 2 or 3 times a week. Let's cut that down to only on the weekends. And from there, let's cut that down to every other weekend. And then you see how it goes. So once you start, you set this goal, then you start to get used to it, then you slowly but surely wing yourself off of that, rather than just cutting cold turkey. So this new year for Black folks, what do I see? What do I predict? I see and I predict, as I said in other videos, that the situation is not going to get any better. We are divided. We are splattered. We're still on the bottom on all the lists. Socially, politically, economically, And, you know, it's not looking too good. And with the constant caravans of immigrants that they're flooding into our black communities and funding them with our taxpayers' dollars, shit is not looking good, you know. And the Democrat Party basically allowing this to happen. Yeah, it's not looking too good for us, you know. But my prediction and what I'm seeing, because, you know, black people are getting fed up with this, you know, we're starting to wake up. We're not thinking like the baby boomers. Like the baby boomers, their blind allegiance to the Democratic Party for all these years, with the common saying, whatever you do, just vote blue. The younger ones, the millennials, the Gen Zs, we're not, what's the point of us voting blue when we see what's happening? When we see that the party that is allowing these caravans of immigrants to flood into our black communities and setting them up. They're setting them up. You know, once they get here, they get free health care. They get all these social service benefits that we, the taxpayers, pay for. They put them in apartments and places. And meanwhile, help them get their work permits. And meanwhile, we suffer. You know, the black homeless rate is high. Poverty rate. And though a lot of people say, well, you know, in my last video in the comment section, it was like, well, brother, we don't all have to work in the warehouses and do these blue collar jobs. That's true, but we all can't be, we all ain't, you know, white collar corporate workers. We all ain't, you know, these doctors and lawyers. I mean, we should be, but a large majority of us didn't go to that advanced education route where you had to spend over 16 to 20 years in school. A lot of us didn't take that route. So we are dependent on these type of professions. And when they're allowing these immigrants to come in and basically get a hold of these professions, and then once they're in, they're locking us out because they're only looking out for their own, then a lot of us is going to suffer. And even people that have advanced degrees, you know, people that got degrees, foundational black Americans, they got their BAs and BSs and master's degrees. And they getting out of college and they finding that they can't find employment. So they have to say, you know what? I got to still pay my bills. The rent is still due. The mortgage is still due. So they have to settle for those type of jobs until they feel like they can find something that's more conducive with what they majored in. So what happens if you got all these immigrants coming in and they're taking those positions and they're hostile, very hostile. These people are very hostile, man. They look at us like they come here and they kind of have this air about them like they're better than us or something, you know? You can, even the lowest worker, you know, the other day I was in Panda Express and, you know, it's full, it's staffed by immigrants. But this one, when he was taking my order, and I come here I come to the same restaurant On multiple occasions, he's looking at me like he didn't want to give me my food. He wanted to hold on to my food until my card went through. And then I'm like, hey, man, can you throw some soy sauce in there? He didn't want to throw no soy. I'm like, bro, why are you acting like that, man? Why? And you could look at the look in his face. He was like, kind of looking at me like I'm beneath him or something, you know? So, like I said, man, this new year, I predict things are going to get worse, particularly for us. And I also predict that the frustration of the American people with the current party that we have, the current administration, is going to put Donald Trump back in office. And if Donald Trump gets back in office, it's not a bad thing for us. I mean, we already dealing with racism, whether it's the Democratic Party, whether it's the Republican Party. We foundational Black Americans, the racism aspect of this country is it doesn't, it's still we still gonna deal with that, no matter what party is in the office. But we have a party in the office that is proven to be more detrimental to us than the other, which is the current party in office, the Democrats. They're proven to be more detrimental because they're doing all these things to spite us that put challenges in our way. Whereas if Donald get up in there, hey, he talking about he gonna come in and deport 100,000 immigrants. Is that gonna hurt us, or is that indirectly gonna benefit us? Well, with us, you can see what's happening in Chicago, in New York, in LA. Well, LA is already done. So if he deports 100,000 immigrants, that's indirectly benefited us, because hey, that might free up some of that labor, the labor work that a lot of homeless Black people can use and benefit from, and our taxpayer dollars. So with that being said, y'all, man, I'm getting it in. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, and I will holler at y'all on the next one. Let's finish it out. Peace.